So, good evening, students. Today we'll discuss the poultry production and management. Under this course, we'll discuss the digestive system of poultry. The objective of discussing digestion about digestion is very important, and we'll discuss anatomy and physiology of digestion in poultry. On the picture on the screen, you'll see that it's entire digestive tract of the poultry birds started with beak, and then the long the esophagus is there. Then we have a crop. Then we have once again the proventriculus, then we have a gizzard, and then the small intestine, the three portion of the small intestine, duodenum, jejunum, and ileum, and then we have a cecum, and then we have a cloaca, and these then finally we have the opening of digestive tract, last portion of where the bird generally releases the droppings. So we will discuss one by one the digestive system. The digestive system consists of alimentary canal along along which the food passes after eating to where the residual waste are eliminated from the body. Together with the liver and pancreas, the digestive system is responsible for indigestion of food, its breakdown and its constituent nutrient and their absorption into the bloodstream, and the elimination of wastage from the process. The liver produces the bile, and it is associated with the metabolism of nutrients, particularly the fat metabolism, with a number of other functions. The main function of the pancreas is the production of digestive enzymes, those who are very important, just like amylase, lipase, and proteases. These are the enzymes those who are generally being produced in the, and also some some juices like insulin and the glucagon, like that. All these are being produced inside the pancreas. They help in the digestive system and the physiology of the digestion, and they are also responsible for the formation of the hormones, those who are required for the several vital activity in the body. The alimentary canal is on or about in poultry 165 to 225 centimeter. This is the only this is the size of the alimentary canal in the poultry. The alimentary canal is a long tube-like organ. It starts from the beak and ends with the vent or cloaca in the abdominal region. Generally, the alimentary canal has layers of muscles that run lengthwise and round in it, and it lined with the mucous membrane. Glands that produces important digestive juices are found in the different location of the canal. The nutrient from the food after digestion are absorbed through the wall of the alimentary canal into the circulatory system for transport to liver or other part of the body. The waste remaining eliminated from the body via the cloaca or vent. Mouth structure. Fowl don't have lips and cheeks because they belongs to the family of neornithe. Neornithe, they don't have the teeth. So they instead have a beak, which is an area of dense and horny skin lying over the mandible and incisive bones that serve the bony foundation. There are no teeth. The hard palate has five transverse or backward hardly pointing out hard conical papillae, numerous ducts and salivary glands pierce the hard palate to release their secretions into the mouth. But in birds, we see that they have the important that structure among the alimentary canal, to whom we are calling the gizzard. And here in gizzard, there are certain the spike-like structures are there, and they whatever the hard material came through beak or through the process of crop and then the proventriculus, here the everything will be broken down in a very fine material. So because of that, the muscular the strength of this particular digestive organ to direct the food into the esophagus, a part of body's eating behavior. Then the esophagus, crop, and proventriculus. Esophagus is wide and it is capable of being significantly stretched. Connects the it connects the mouth region to the crop in close association with the trachea. The crop is a large dilation of esophagus located just prior to where the esophagus enters into the thoracic cavity. The crop provides the capacity to hold the food immediately, whatever the birds consume through beak. Ultimately, it is stored for a movement in the crop. The crop provides the capacity to hold the food for some time before further digestion commences. This capacity enables the bird to take its food as a meal at a time interval but permits continuous digestion inside the thoracic cavity. The esophagus enters to becomes the proventriculus. Actually, this proventriculus is also being called as a true stomach because here the mixing of the acidic that secretions which is being took place, which is a very glandular part of the digestive tract, often called as a glandular stomach. The wall of esophagus is composed of four layers of tissue. Innermost being mucous membrane. The mucous membrane is an important barrier to entry the microbes, and the mucus is produces its lubricant, and that aid passes to the food along to the alimentary canal. The structure below the crop is to the above aspect. There is a less lymphoid tissues below the crop. The crop structure is similar to that of the esophagus, except there are no glands present in the fowl. Ducks and geese have glands in the crop mucous membrane. In pigeons, the surface cells of crop slop of during brooding or from pigeon's milk will be used to feed the baby pigeon in the nest. Proventriculus. The glandular stomach, to whom we are calling the proventriculus, is relatively small and tubular. The wall is very thick and it composed of five layers. Then we have a gizzard. This is the prominent that structure. The muscular stomach or gizzard is located immensely after the proventriculus, partly between the lobes and the partly behind the left lobe of the liver. It has a flattened rounded shape, some somewhat like a convex lens, and with one side slightly larger than other. Each surface is covered with the glistening, glistening layer of tendinous tissues, which is thicker at the center and becoming thinner towards the edges. Under this outer layer, there are located very powerful masses of red muscles. The inner surface of lined with the creamy colored, thick horny tissue raised in the ridges. The gizzard almost always contain quantity of hard objects such as gravels or other grit, those who are being fed with the feed to the birds, and the destination of food, which is this integration of food, which is the primary function of the gizzard. The gland of gizzard produces liquid, which is keratinized material that passes to the surface of the horny lining, where it hardens the replaced tissue worn away by the grinding action of the organ. So it's just like a grinding machine. It works inside the gizzard. The small intestine, which is very important, that 80 to 145 centimeter generally it is in the poultry bird. The small intestine begins with the exit to the gizzard and ends with the junction of the small intestine, the the cecum and the colon. It is relatively long, has constant diameter of three parts of that we know that the intestine, the duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. Only the duodenum can easily distinguish in the fowl. There is no clear demarcation between the jejunum and ileum, but that the size of that it is 80 to 145 centimeters. So it's so long that the tubular structure is there, but very small tubular structure is there. Much of the digestion of food and all The absorption of nutrients take place in the small intestine. Hence, its structure is quite important because of the presence of villi and microvilli inside the small intestine. Now we have a large intestine. 12 to 18 centimeter. The large intestine is very short, does not differ to any extent from the caliber of small intestine. It runs in nearly a straight line below the vertebrates and the cloaca. Sometimes this section is referred to as the colon and rectum. The rectum being the terminal section, the bursa of Fabrices Fabricius is located immediately above the cloaca of young birds, but disappear when the birds have reached to approximately 1 year old. The two cecum or blind pouches are about 16 to 80 centimeters long in the adult. They extend towards the line of the small intestine, towards the liver, and are closely attached with the small intestine along with their length by the mesentery. Then the final that the vent to whom we are also calling the cloaca. The large intestine terminates the front part of the cloaca. The cloaca is a tubular that cavity opening of the exterior body, and it is common to digestive and urogenital tract. The structure of cloaca is very similar to that of intestine except that the muscularis mucosa disappear near the vent. It divides into three chambers, each separated by construction not really defined. The the copperodium, then the urodium, then the proctodium, and these are the three actually the chambers. They all are separated by 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 muscular layer. And when the reproductive tract is active, on that time the digestive tract or vent is closed. So and when the urinal tract is opening, on the time that both of them they remain closed. So there is no interconnectivity in these three actually the vent or three openings in a cloaca. So that we can understood that the structure which we have in the bird. So this is about the poultry bird digestive tract and digestive system which we have tried to understood and explain. So it's a very long that that it's approximately 222 centimeters long from beak to the vent. So the birds they because this entire that activity which is being took place in under the digestive tract is being governed by the nerves to whom we are calling the vagus nerve. So all that secretions from liver and pancreas, they all are being controlled by a neurotropic system among the bird. So good morning, students. Today we'll discuss regarding the sex determination in the poultry birds, and the objective of learnings are how we can understood the sex determination process in the poultry and what is the importance of sex determination in poultry birds. So these are the two things. They are our objectives that after discussion, when we complete about the sex determination process, then we'll have a learning about these two objectives. So how determine sex of a chick? This is a very important thing that if we are running a poultry hatchery or poultry business, then we have to learn how we can determine the sex at a day old chick stage. Because knowing sex of our chicken can help you to create the best living situation for them moving forward. However, sexing chicks is not a straightforward process and requires examining a number of clues. Because there are the so many ways actually for deciding that on the basis of that will come on a conclusion that whether the chick is a male or female, because this population of male and female is very much required, very much important as far as the commercial angle is concerned. If we'll not judge the sex at a day old stage, then how we can supply the, the, the stock to the concerned poultry farm? Because that they require 90 plus female birds if they are running if they are running uh, the layer form, because you know that the only egg can be given or delivered by the female. So that is a situation. Otherwise in broiler farming it's not required, because only the 6 weeks age is there, and whether it is a male or female, it doesn't make any difference. But in the case of the layers, it's very important where we have to have a production. And if we have a more number of male in the flock, then definitely we'll have a less opportunity to less number of eggs to being produced within a span of time. So that's why above, if we want to keep the egg production above 85% or 90% in the layer forming, then we have it is very much necessary that we have to detect the sex of a chick at a day old stage. So hatchery, they are having that, these are the experts they are having with them, and they judge they confirm that they confirm through their experience that this bird particular chick is male or female. So knowing checks, there are four actually the methods on the basis of that. Generally, the people can identify and differentiate between the male and female at a day old stage. Number one, the growth of feathers also the criteria. Then the down color is also the second criteria, and then on the basis of the size, they can have a little bit idea that whether the chick is belonging to male or female. Then the vent sexing. This is the final that vent sexing is the scientifically proven method, and through this we can have 100% identification that whether the chick is belonging to male or female. So first we'll have a look at their wing feathers. Here in the pictures on the screen, you will see that the clarity that the female birds they have the dissimilarity as far as the growth of feathers is concerned. Whether in the case of the male, the feathers they are having the similarity in the growth. While baby chicks are covered in down, the end of their wings will have a light feather wing fringe. To view the wing feathers, grasp the chick firmly in one hand. Use other hand to extend the wing out until the feathers are somewhat separated and visible. A male cockerel chick will have wing feathers of roughly the same length, roughly the same length. Where in the case of the female in picture, you'll see that clearly observe that there is no similarity in the length of the feathers. You can perform wing sexing 1 to 2 days after hatching and usually get accurate results. Almost through this process, we can have almost 90-95% we'll have a accuracy in the results. If you wait longer than this, the wing feathers developed will accelerate too much to read. So if you will wait further, then this similarity may this similarity in the wing growth may disappear because of the growth of the wings. So first, it is very important that just after hatching 1 or 2 days, you have to go for the wing feathers that growth, and on the basis of that, if similarity is there, it's a male, and if there is no similarity, then we can put into the female category. So this is the first method of detecting the sex. Then look at their down color. This is also the method, but this is scientifically not actually the accurate. But anyway, the people, because of their experience, they are using this method. A chick is covered with downy, soft, and small feathers until it develops past 6 weeks of age. Male chicks usually have a light colored heads, whereas female often have a dark brown one. So it will take a lot of time actually to just 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, it means if you are running poultry for broilers, then it's okay. Otherwise, it's become a futile exercise. If we have a 5 to 10% more than that, if male in the flock, then the production will be never be above 80% or like that. So from commercial point of view, judging of sex is very important, and that's why we are doing this exercise at a very early stage. And if it is better at a day or within a day or two after hatching, it will have idea that this is the this particular chick belonging to female or male sex. So a chick covered with down, soft and small feather until it develops past 6 weeks of age. Male chicks usually have light colored heads where the female have dark colored. If a female has down spot or stripes, they are typically brown or black. In contrast to male, accent are generally white or yellow. So this is actually not the correct scientifically not, but on the basis of the experience, people have shared their idea that on the basis of this color and the pigment on the lower portion of the birds, we can have idea that if light color is there, yellow color is there, that we can say that the chick belongs to male community. Where the dark color is there, then we can say that the chick belongs to the female community. For example, male road Iceland red or New Hampshire chicks have almost golden down coloring. So this is the reason that on the basis of that in particular breed we can have, but in all cases we cannot say that this is the thumb rule for all cases. But scientifically, this thing was not that much of having approval. Then look at their size. On the basis of size, people they can have their on the experience they are judging that the chick belongs to male or female community. At about 3 to 4 weeks old, you should be able to start after 3 to 4 weeks. So this is also not that much of that thing which is appreciable, because after 3 to 4 weeks, if we are rearing chicks for the layers, and then it become a futile exercise, because it means that the 3 to 4 weeks the starter that chick layer which is required, which can be given to them even if they are the male. So that at about 3 to 4 weeks old you should have able to start tell the difference between the male and female child. Generally the female child, based on their body size, male chicks will generally have larger bodies and heads as compared to the female, and female chicks appear a bit more petite. Then the final that the vent sexing, which is very important and scientifically proven and generally being followed at at, 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 at every hatchery in a country and abroad. So attempt of vent sexing, a warning in advance. It is usually best to hire a professional, because this practice is because the day old chick is very very sophisticated, and in that case, if we not handle the chip properly, then it may damage the health and the other growth and development of the chick. So hold the chick in your hand gently and apply light pressure on the abdomen until the chick defecate into how clear and anal vent. If you see bump over there, it means that the chick belongs to male, and if there is no bump, then you can easily can understood that this chick is female. So this is the 100% that the scientifically proven criteria. If bump is there, if you see from your naked eye, if bump is there, then you can have that the chick belongs to the male. And where if the bump is not there or missing, then you can say that the chick belongs to the female. So on the basis of that, at hatchery level, they are doing this thing at the age of one day old chick, and they are separating all the things, and they are 5 to 10%. They are providing male population in a flock, which is also scientifically very very appreciable, because it helps in maintaining the egg production, and also the vitality and the reproductive performance of the female birds. So this is all about the discussion on the sex determination in the poultry birds, and we'll see that how we can do this thing in practically in the field. And yes, if you have any question, you please ask. So, good morning, student. Today we have a plan to discuss about the poultry production management, and under this course, we have a plan to discuss about the role of poultry in India. So, objective is very clear that we will discuss the role and the importance of poultry farming in India, and we will know that what is the status of poultry farming in India right now, and what can be done for the further growth and development of the poultry production in India, and how much the poultry farming is contributed in our country. So poultry farming in India, in spite of several constraints, has progressed considerably during the last decade. In last decade, actually, this development of poultry farming is carried out in our country. Before that, because we have a huge number of vegetarian population in our country, so that's why the egg lover are comparatively less in our country. But because of the growing population of non-veg people in our country, the in last decade we have registered a considerable growth in the poultry farming. The present study has been undertaken to examine various aspects related to the growth and development of poultry production in the country. Poultry production in India was confined to backyard till recently, because generally the people those who are loving eggs, consuming eggs, they are keeping the poultry as a backyard. It means 20, 30 birds, 50 birds they are keeping with in their backyard, and they are using their egg and chicken also. So this kind of that business we are having over here, and the government is also running so many type of that the poultry state farming business, where they are providing this backyard and they are promoting this backyard poultry, because uh, and, in general the commercial poultry farming we required the different the dimensions which we required, housing we required, proper housing, ventilation, everything we required, land also we required, the connectivity and the marketing, that the system also, the infrastructure we require. But in backyard poultry, because generally the produce and the production is being consumed by the family itself, so it enhances the nutritive value of the farming, and these birds they generally being fed only once or twice in a day, and they generally they consume all the insect pests, those they are there in the environment, and they are enjoying their life in the backyard system. But this is from commercial point of view, this is not acceptable. So poultry production in India was confined to backyard till recently. Local breeds of birds were reared for the supply of eggs and meat, because these breeds they are having less than 100 eggs in a year. Generally, we have in our country the birds like that, and their meat is also not that much of that fleshy. So that in that situation nowadays the commercial poultry is in picture, and people the huge investment is in this particular business, and this new startups are also in progress. The increasing demand of poultry products necessities augmenting the supply by important improved breeds of poultry. In 1961, the poultry proportion of hybrid population in the total population of poultry was about 2%. Within a couple of decades, these birds have dominated the market, sidelining the indigenous breeds. Because nowadays the backyard poultry, the era is gone, and almost the poor people they are having this kind of situation. Otherwise, nowadays the entire the situation was replaced by the commercial poultry farming. The technological advances have revolutionized the role and structure of poultry industry in India. It became one of the most specialized enterprise in many parts of the country. A general confidence has created among the people that green revolution has ushered an era of self-reliance in the food grain production. Because through poultry farming, we have a huge opportunity to uplift the poor nutritional status of the mass of population, because of the high protein content in the egg and the meat. The rapidly growing population has created some doubts in the said hypothesis. In fact, crop production alone may not solve the food problem in the country. The advances in cereal technology, of course, can fill the empty stomach, but it may not help in the balanced growth of the human body. That I have already discussed that the nutritional that status of the countrymen, it is not up to that mark, because only because through the green revolution we have achieved our that the grain requirement of the countrymen. But only the filling of stomach is not sufficient. We have to fill the stomach in a proper balance, the diet which we have to provide, and that poultry and its product, they can have that potential. They can fill that gap which is there in the nutritional status of the countrymen. The chief ingredient of balanced diet is also comprise protein, fats, minerals, and vitamins which are essential for growth. The supply of these items can easily be increased through increased production of livestock products. So now we'll once again go to the slides. So this is the actually the main purpose of discussing this role of poultry farming in India, because the poultry farming is not only the business opportunities over here in our country, because we are just contributors on around 2 to 3% of world poultry population in our country. So we have a huge potential to enhance the business in all dimensions, and also we can fulfill the nutritional requirement of our countrymen. So role of poultry is not only on from the business aspect, but also from the food grain and nutritional aspects of the countrymen. Poultry development in India. The stage of poultry farming in different states, union territories, examined by constructing development indices on parameters such as layer parent stock, number of improved birds relative to the total poultry population, number of hatcheries, both private and public sector, and performance in example of egg produce per year. The technique was used to build indices for majority poultry producing state UTs in the country. The Poultry Development Index was constructed for major poultry producing states in Indian Union. The states were classified in ascending order. This implies the state which the lowest world population development index was first mentioned, so on. Assam and Northeast states were found in the first place in the order. In example, country farming is the least developed in these states, followed by Bihar, Odisha, and Himachal Pradesh, etc. Andhra Pradesh presented the most developed poultry population in India. In order to classify all states into two World Population Development Index groups, the 0.52 level was arbitrary, arbitrary chosen as the cut of different state classify all the state in two groups on the basis of the low high poultry farming development. So the stages were classified on the basis of that what kind of the development is there, what kind of that population is there, what kind of productivity is there. All these are the parameters, and they have on the basis of that they have classified the state and union territory among two categories. Now we'll see that how the growth in population, growth in production and productivity of egg and chicken meat, growth in egg production, growth in productivity. So these are the parameters on the basis of that we have classified the countrymen. Now growth in production and quality of egg and chicken meat. We'll see that per capita consumption in 1991 and 2012. From the table, we can understood that only the egg was 1991 only 7 eggs, and here we have a 38 eggs in 2012. So now we can see that how much that growth is there. And the broiler production also we can see that only 2 millions was there in the 1991 and 800 million in 2012. Now it is so far, because now the country is in the first position as far as the meat production is concerned. But in broiler production, definitely we are far behind as per the expectation we are having. So this kind of the situation is there in the country in between 1991 to 2012. Now we'll see the growth in production. Poultry products have shown a massive growth in the country after 1961. Egg production in the year 2,881 million, which increases about 30,000 million in the 1996. And broiler production starting from zero increases 400 million in 1996. Similarly, the poultry meat was about 81,000 ton in the year 1996, and now it is 659 in the same period. The increased production increase in the availability of poultry products for consumption. So increase in the production definitely enhance the position of availability of the poultry products consumption. Growth in egg production. Growth egg production in the major producing state, different regions of the country was examined during the period 80 to 1998. The period was further divided into 1890. Then it was seen that the Andhra Pradesh is leading in that particular thing. Now, then other than that, the Himachal and Punjab, Haryana, they are also doing very well. Growth in productivity. Productivity of indigenous or desi, that local improved breeds, different regions were examined for the period 87 to 88 and 94 to 95. The main productivity level of desi local birds was maximum up to 156 eggs in a year. In Himachal Pradesh, in northern region, the minimum was 62 eggs per year in Manipur. And it was also observed that this is the reason, that's why the maximum productivity of the improved breeds is 278 to 350 per year. So it was reported in Andhra Pradesh, in the southern, and another 109 act in the Manipur state in the eastern region. So this is the parameter that on the basis of that we'll have a discussion on the role of the poultry farming in India. Now growth in egg production, northern region, western region, southern region, eastern region. These under these four regions, we will find that the growth of all the regions, all the products are poultry products are very important, and they are there. There was a significant north region. There was a significant growth in the egg production in all egg producing state of the region. Punjab presented a maximum growth rate of 3.12% during the year and first year, and then the 3.03% in the intermediate period, followed by Himachal Pradesh 3 to 2.9 and 2.98 to Haryana, and like that. It means 3-4% growth is there. The period 2002 to 2003, only we'll see that 2-3% growth was there. Western region, the major egg producing state in the region, showing significant growth in the first year. Rajasthan was second period, but the growth is Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, and all. These are only in between 2 to 3% yearly, respectively. Southern region, in this region, the maximum and high significant growth was there, because here the growth was above 3%. So this is a state where we have a huge growth in the poultry. Then the eastern region, in the eastern region, Sikkim and all these northeastern seven sisters are here. The growth was in between the 2 to 3%, and on an average below 3%. So this is the situation of the poultry farming in our country, and because of this, we'll see that the entire things were very disturbing, and in that case, we cannot do this thing. So anyway, this is all about the poultry production in the country.